Yes, welcome to another edition of Warm Up Wednesday. We are very excited to share another one of our warm-up activities that we do. And this, of course, is a Steve Wyburning activity. It is, I would say, our class's absolute favorite. It is called Estimation Clipboard. And I'm very excited to show you how we do it in our classroom, as well as kind of how we set up our boards, or also I'll also show you the paper template that we have. And here to help me today is the one and only Bristol. Bristol, you want to give them a little wave? All right. Okay, so here is a kind of a paper template we've made that you can either print off and use with your students. If you're doing that, I would suggest print it off on cardstock, put it in one of those page protectors that we keep promoting because we love them so much, and that way you can just use it over and over and over again. Or if you're like me, I tend to just teach my students at the very beginning of the year how to set up their whiteboards. Then this truly becomes a environmentally friendly, no prep activity. So here going to show us how you can do it on a whiteboard and teach your students to set it up using some mathematical language. So we're going to start by making a vertical line from the top down. Now we're going to make a horizontal line halfway through your board. So now you can see that we've divided our board into quarters, right? So 4 equal pieces. What we're going to now do is we're going to make diagonal lines from the top of each corner to the bottom. And what we've recently started doing is just making a little rectangle in the corner of each one for the students to be able to record the difference, how far off their estimate was from the actual number. So if you can just make a little rectangle in each one, that would be great, Bristol.
Thank you.
Perfect. Now you're ready to play. Okay, so as you can see here, we have the template that you could print off, or you can see how quick and easy it was for Bristol to get that down on her board as well. Okay, and so we always teach the students, and of course the first few times I'm always demoing it on the board for them to see. In the top of the diagonal of each quarter of the board is where they put their estimate. And then in the bottom is where they put their actual. And then this little box is where they kind of put the difference, or how far off were they from the actual. And we always tend to go estimate 1, estimate 2, estimate 3, and estimate 4, because you'll notice that Steve Wyburning always has 4 examples, which is great because it gives the students then some different reference to use to get really close with some of their estimates. All right, so what always happens at first is there is an initial picture. We call it a blind estimate because there is no reference, there's nothing to compare it to. The students are just going to have to look at the size of the jar, look at the size of the objects in the jar, and using their number sense, make their best estimate for how many they think they are there. And they're going to write it in the top part of box 1. So let's see what Bristol's estimate is going to be. All right, and can you show me? Oh, she's saying there could be 32 in here. So what's going to happen now is we'll click it, we'll see what the actual is, and then Bristol's going to have to figure out the difference. How many balls are in the glass? All right, we're going to reveal there were 23. Not far off, Bristol. So Bristol's now going to do a little bit of mental math and figure out the difference in the value between 23 and her estimate of 32. And she's going to write that in the box. Did you have a chance to figure that out yet, Bristol?
11.
Close. If it was going from 22 to 33, but we're going from 32 to 23. So let's think, what's 23 to 33 would be how many? 23 to 33 would be 10, but it's 1 less. So what number is 1 less than 10?
9.
Yeah, it's going to be 9. Okay. So now part of why we love Steve Wyburning's estimation clipboard so much is there is another one that you can do. It's the same size jar. It's the same objects inside the jar. And now, very early in the year, we teach the students about the word referent. Okay, referent. So they can now use this, knowing that this is 23. They can keep 23 in their mind, and they're going to now use that to help them with this. So Bristol, is this going to be more or less than 23?
Less.
Less. So she's using the 23 to compare it. So let's see. And do you think it's going to be like a lot less? Do you think it's going to be like half, like 10?
No.
No? Okay. Can you write down your estimate?
I've already done
Can you share it with me, please?
it. 17.
Ah, okay. Was there a particular reason why you chose 17?
It's because I think that it might be 17.
Okay, fair enough. That looks like a good estimate to me. So what we do now is we do the reveal. It's 18. You are so close. My goodness. What a good estimate. What is the difference between the actual and your estimate?
1.
Oh, you are 1 away. Okay, so round 3. Here we go. So once again, now the students have 2 previous samples, which we can use as a referent to help them estimate the amount in the third one. So can you please write that down for me, Crystal?
Okay.
And can you share your estimate with the audience?
13.
13, okay. Ready? Let's see. The reveal is... Oh my goodness! What? You got it! So what's the difference between your estimate and the actual?
0.
Yeah, because your estimate was the actual. Well, that is exciting. Okay. So what we're going to do, I don't know if we're going to be able to top that for the big finale, but man, that was awesome, Bristol. Okay, what we're going to do now is, for the final one, we always get super excited in the class, okay? So what we do, first of all, is give them a moment to look at all the previous 3 examples, use that as the referent, make their final estimate. We share a few in the class, then we do the finger drum roll to see what the final one is. Often because by the final one, those are usually some of our closest estimates of the whole time because you have the most reference in previous samples to compare them to. Are you ready?
Yes.
What was your estimate?
23.
23? Okay. Now I'm just going to ask you a question. So 23, so this, we know that this previous one was 23. Does that look like the exact same number? Does it look like a little bit more or a little bit less?
More.
Okay, so do you want to maybe give it another try? What did you change your estimate to?
36.
36. Wow, okay. All right, so this is when we get really excited. Do you want to demonstrate the finger drum roll for us, please, Bristol?
Okay.
Okay. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. It was, 27! All right, and usually there's cheering and stuff in the class. People walk by, they're like, what is going on in there? And we're like, it's just math, right? And yeah, because that's how we roll in this class. All right, can you figure out what's your difference between 27 and, what was your guess, 36? Okay, so
9.
you got it. Were you thinking 27 to 37 would be 10 and 1 less would be 9? Oh, great mental math. Well done, Bristol. Something else that we've done in the classroom, for student-led conferences or our celebrations of learning, the students are always excited to share this activity, but it doesn't necessarily always work well because they're in at different times and you can't do it all with one group up there. So what we've done in the past is we've created as a class our own jars with envelopes underneath, and then they can lead their parents through where they start with 1, make their estimates, open up the envelope, see what it is, use that information to help them with the second one. It would also be really easy to have these materials in your classroom, have the students create their very own ones of these. And if you have access to technology like the iPads and the Chromebooks, they could very easily take the photos and create one as well. Or keep it with the actual manipulatives, make their own envelopes, and do that as part of a math. Math is awesome!